Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be in time and space. I am Janet Weissman here with,
Carlos Felipe.
and we are happy that you have joined us for episode 29 of I Am Practically Spiritual podcast. And we're also very happy that today's episode is once again sponsored by the Love Ladders, a collection of jewelry and small sculptural works where every piece shines as a reminder of love's true presence. We're also grateful for the support of the Forgiveness Piece, a sculptural project devoted to forgiveness. We invite you to visit theloveladders.com and theforgivenesspiece.com to discover the many ways to express being practically spiritual. And be sure to use the coupon code SPIRITUAL, all caps, to receive a 25% discount. And here we are for this week. We begin our last review in part 1 of the workbook. Actually, it's the last review because there aren't any in part 2. But it happens to be my favorite review, partially because my most favorite lesson is in it, but we won't get there until next week. Next week's episode. But the last 3 new lessons continue to be big ideas, with one being our mantra for the review. Even if they seem to be hard to comprehend, these lessons, let's just consider the idea that they're going to be life-changing when we are ready to accept them. Lesson 198, only my condemnation injures me. One illusion will always give rise to another one. The belief that you can be attacked is actually an illusion, but until you accept your true identity, capital letters there, it is one that is believed. And the illusion that we can attack back without any consequences is also an illusion. The impact for condemning and attacking puts my mind in prison. The remedy of all of this is forgiveness. Forgiveness ends all dreams and illusions that are fearful and imprisoning. Forgiveness is the means we use to awaken from all the dreams we made and now be guided to our home. We are led out of all the disasters and suffering and away from death. And yet, we often fight against receiving this last illusion of forgiveness, which is really a great gift. This world offers us nothing but pain and captivity. It's not the home of the holy child of God. It's not God's wish that we remain here. We must learn and accept. Only my condemnation injures me. Only my forgiveness sets me free. Under every thought of fear is an unforgiving thought that can be healed with forgiveness. Heaven will be remembered when we forgive, and today will become a day of celebration in heaven and earth, and the world will enter into stillness with a loving light shining over it. All of the symbols of this world will be gone, and we will disappear into God. Lesson 199, I am not a body, I am free. It's going to be our holy earworm. As long as I believe I'm a body, I'm limited. The body is a limit and it has limitations. It's essentially a prison. We can free our mind from this belief as we turn to the Holy Spirit for guidance. Then we will be free of the self-imposed limitations. We will be unbound as long as we give our mind over to the source of love. Remember, fear and love will never coexist. This lesson is a huge thought, and although this is not a giant stride lesson, it is an essential one. Changing our thoughts about the body is certainly difficult for most. We use the body as a source of our identity. But what if we are actually so much more than that? Now the body can become a vehicle for the Holy Spirit to use for healing according to God's plan. As we accept this, the body now becomes an integral part in achieving freedom from all minds and for all minds. We will become free together and no longer feel helpless or afraid. We accept our immortality and the world is blessed. We accept our identity as God's child. We no longer weep. God will extend his happiness and love to all. We are free. And now lesson 200. There is no peace
close.
except the peace of God. This is a singularity to the Course. It's one that we have mentioned before and stressed in the readings. It's the number one. There is only one place where complete and total peace can be found, and it's within God. Remember, there is no love but God's. We have all searched for happiness, love, or peace in places where they cannot be found, and we do not belong in this world. It's time to come home. Now it's time to change our mind about this world so we can escape it. It's time to bless it so we can be free of it. It's time to forgive it. Forgiveness will release us from all we thought this world contained. Today we choose to let go of hell because heaven awaits. How will we get out of here to there? Well, God's peace. It will be our bridge to let go of all the vain imaginings and senseless journeys that we have taken. We've stayed too long in a world filled with bodies and body thoughts and cravings. We choose God's peace over everything else today. It gives us comfort and embraces us. Our mind and our heart are finally at ease. There's no other peace that is real and eternal. The lesson tells us peace is union, if it be of God, and this is the only peace we want forever. Now we have a wonderful introduction to our review number 6.
Indeed, it's wonderful.
Yeah, and full disclosure, this is my favorite review in the workbook. The instructions begin by telling us each lesson we review could be enough on its own to guarantee salvation, freedom, forgiveness. They're all synonymous for everyone. But of course, the caveat is they must be truly learned because each lesson contains the entire curriculum if understood, practiced, accepted, and applied. This is the practical part, and it cannot be overlooked. We must actually apply the lessons to the daily worldly life we lead. With that in mind, then one is enough. And now we have our central theme, which I'm calling the Holy Earworm. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And here we have everything we need. We can now release everything else because all of those old thoughts are only mind clutter. We are continuing to go beyond words. So we allow the thought of the day and our mantra to be all we focus upon. Any ego thought that arises, notice it, then let it go. It's not a real thought. And we have a phrase to help us release any persistent thoughts. We say, this thought I do not want. I choose instead. Fill in the blank. And that can be, of course, the daily review lesson. Or just something that, the peace of God, the love of God, whatever. Now repeat the lesson for the day. The Holy Spirit is now in charge and will guide us through. Just for a moment, I want to center on that word still. I am still as God created me, because it has many ways to be interpreted. Originally, I just thought it was, I continue to be. But with further study, I realized it means stillness as well. God creates in stillness, not in chaos. It can also mean quiet, motionless, at rest, tranquil, calm, serene, comfort, as God created me. First review lesson, 201. I trust my brothers who are one with me. My brother's true identity, like mine, is spirit, because we are both created from the same source. We are one. We are not bodies. I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. Review lesson 202. I will be still an instant and go home. An instant is a very small amount of time, and yet I have spent an unimagined amount of time away from home. I have always had the ability to go home, but my mind has not been still. Now I will choose to enter into the stillness of my Father's mind, and I will realize I am home. I am not a body. I'm free, for I am still as God created me. Review lesson 203. I call upon God's name and on my own. God's name is love. I am love. God's name is peace. I am peace. God's name is stillness. I am stillness. God is awareness. I am awareness. God is whole. I am whole. There is one name for everything and everyone, and that name is God. In this awareness is freedom from the laws of pain that rule this ego world. I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. And review lesson 204. The name of God is my inheritance. God's name unites us as one, the Father and the child and everything that lives. We are not bodies, and in truth, we never were. We are free forever and live eternally within his mind. We are given everything because God is everything. We are forever one with him. I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me.
Wow, indeed, very big lessons. How to close part one, and this time around I was able to see how it's kind of closing a cycle.
Yeah.
It's asking us to really think differently.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so to go with that, and the last three lessons, only my 198, only my condemnation injures me. I think it's so important. This, it drives the message home that whatever we do to the other, we do to ourselves.
Right.
But to truly understand at that level, because whether it's something good or something bad, whatever we give, we get it back, and sometimes even in increments, right?
Right.
And then to truly understand why we need to get rid of judgments and thoughts that also get us to those judgments, right? Because only my condemnation injures me.
I think one of the other things this does, and what the Course does, is it makes us take responsibility.
Absolutely.
Okay, so only my condemnation. It's my responsibility. I have done this to myself. All of these illusions. All of the grievances, the judgments, all of the guilt. It came from me. So it's not like, I can blame someone else. Whatever I'm experiencing, it's because I chose to experience it, because I chose the actions that brought that into my awareness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's great, Jenny, because I think one of the last lessons from last week, it was saying that to begin, it is important for us guys to begin taking that responsibility. We might not be able to take all of the responsibility for the whole thing at once, but just about our judgments and our thoughts. That's, I think, where we have to focus, because they are not idle. They will have an effect, so we have to be aware of those. I think that was very important, that lesson. And then the next one, I love this one as well, the 199. I'm not a body, I am free, right? And like you said, very well explained, it's very normal that we identify with the body, but just to begin giving thought, that is, of course, we see ourselves in a body, but it's part of the illusion. And it's part of the illusion. I loved somewhere I heard that it's kind of like a Halloween costume.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take it out, and what is inside it will still keep going. So that one is also very important.
Some Native Americans describe the body as a robe. They drop their robe when they're ready to transcend.
And then the real big one, the way to close part one, I think, and there's no accidents, lesson 200, there is no peace except the peace of God.
Right.
That one, I think, is such an amazing lesson, to just read it, and the depthness of it is amazing. But what I wanted to ask you, Janet, is about, I was thinking, to get to peace, we have to get rid of guilt. That's kind of the first step for us, right? As students, as to be, in order to begin to kind of grasp into the peace, we have to get rid of guilt. So I wanted, if you could expand a little bit on kind of why guilt is part of the ego, and maybe just what you could tell us about it, and some advice on how to begin to look at peace, and maybe one of the doors is to walk through guilt and see how that operates. I don't know if that makes sense.
The way to peace, the way to God, is through forgiveness. And the Course says there is no other way. And, when we are truly willing to forgive everything, then we can experience this peace of God. Just like I want the peace of God. That'll be next week's review lesson, but we've already had the original one, 185. And when it says that many people have said these words, but few have meant them, that's it. There has to be a commitment for this Course. There has to be a commitment for this new thought system. So until I'm really ready to make that commitment, the ideas of feeling guilty, feeling ashamed, trying to blame others, throwing things out, the grievances, the judgments that I'll throw onto everyone else. Remember, we extend or we project, and if it's love, we're extending. If it's guilt thoughts, fear thoughts, we're projecting them onto others. One is extend, one is project. Mm-hmm. The only way is to look at our thoughts, our guilt thoughts, our fear thoughts, all of that, and to look at it realistically, to really see it for what it is, and then realize, is this a thought that I want? Is this the thought I want to keep? Just like, in the review introduction, it says, this thought I do not want. I choose instead.
Okay. So with that, but also I think it's important for us to kind of get to see the origin of the guilt as the structure of the ego, right? Because is it, if I'm not mistaken, when we separated it from God,
when we believe we did,
when we believe we did, is that guilt is intrinsic to the ego, because it's kind of, we are running afraid to be found out that we did this terrible thing, right?
Yeah, the tiny mad idea, as the Course refers to it. And, when we had the tiny mad idea, in that nanosecond, the ego was made, and with the ego came its own forces, and guilt is one of them, and, judgments. Everything that's surrounded by, or is the core of has a fear thought at its core, has all come from the ego mind.
Okay, so that's very good to keep in mind, and to help us now discern. And in this closing this first part, that's what we need to at least become aware, and that drives us to the review, which I agree with you is a great, lovely review as well. If you haven't read it, guys, I think please look at it, because it has a great information. But in here also, it tells us about exactly that, what you said, that we have to, doesn't matter, it gives us liberty on how we practice, but the only thing is that we have to be very aware of the thoughts that we have.
Right.
And I also thought very important, because that's what you said, the commitment is that we have to, at this point, become aware. If we want to change that thought system, we need, no thought is idle, right?
Right. Now, the word idle, because I was going to say, because you already mentioned an idle thought, and we think of it as just, it's a thought, okay? Yeah. But idle is one of those words that has, two spellings, and they sound the same. And one is idle, like, just a wanton thought, or idol, an idol, something that we are holding up as an idol. And one of the things we hold up as an idol, the body.
Okay. Very good way to put it.
So,
And that's the invitation, right? Like you said, that we need to have commitment, we need to be responsible. The Course will work, but we need to put it in practice. And just the judgments, the thoughts that we have, we need to look at that and for all this to make sense.
Be aware.
Exactly, be aware.
And also, be aware that it's time for all of us to smile and breathe, or breathe and smile, just,
And So that's time for this time. Please subscribe. Any comments that you have, we are so thankful that you are here with us, and we'll see you next time.
Yes.